what we're doing here is something we're going to call refrigerator roulette. And this may happen more than once, but today it's going to be centered around japchae and then another type of noodle. So I like the sweet potato starch noodles, and my husband likes egg noodles. So we're gonna prepare something like japchae because, as you can see, we had a bunch of ingredients to use up. So we've got the meat from our last video. We've got a bunch of mushrooms that needed to go, red and green onion. This is shredded carrot. I shredded it with a potato peeler because my knife skills just aren't there yet. This is julienne peppers. We got yellow, orange, and green. This is poblano, so it's gonna be a little spicy. And then this is the green onion tops. I'm gonna use this for garnish. These are the tops of the crappy asparagus we got from Kroger. I'm gonna make that too. I just took the tops off, and the bottoms I put in the compost, so they won't go to waste. And then some spinach for garnish. I don't know how much. This is a lot of food, so we're gonna see how much we go through. Anyway, so then in terms of noodles, I've already prepared some parboiled noodles. This is parboiled egg noodles. Rinsed with cold water and tossed with a little bit of sesame oil to keep it separate. Same thing. These are sweet potato starch noodles. And by rights, I should probably cut these, but like they've been boiled and then rinsed with cold water and then tossed in sesame oil to keep them relatively apart. And then here is the sauté sauce. So this is 200 milliliters of water, a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then a teaspoon of minced garlic. Same thing in here, because I'm going to make 2 separate sets, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute. What was I going to say? Oh, this recipe is inspired by Japchae. She's from the Culinary Institute of America. If you could look up her channel, Japchae, she's very good-natured, very respectful, but very serious, and she just lays things out so simply. So if you ever want to make Korean food, you know, go look her up. So now what we're going to do is, this is sort of labor-intensive. We're going to saute each of these vegetables by themselves. So the mushrooms, the onions, the carrots, and the peppers, they're all going to get sautéed on their own in the pan. I'll show you what I mean by that. So what you're going to do is heat up, this is about a 20-inch skillet. The flatter the better, the bigger the better. And then I'm going to heat this up to medium-high. She recommends vegetable oil. I no longer use vegetable oil. I use avocado oil or olive oil, okay? And then there's this toasted sesame oil that'll come later, but this is like a flavoring, like a garnish. Okay, so what you do is you put a little bit, you know, that's about a teaspoon and a half, I would think. And then you're going to take your carrots. Let's start with them because they're close. This is very labor intensive, but this is sort of the authentic method. You want all the vegetables have their own integrity. Some of these peppers are going to get in here, but that's okay. So you're going to saute this until they get soft. And you're going to do that for every single category of vegetables. I mean, soft. I mean, until they start to collapse.
What do you mean by collapsing?
Well, you notice like when we first
they
put it,
wilt almost,
yeah, wilted, but somewhat cooked. So like this is kind of bouncy. You see how that's sort of fresh, and then this right here is not. I mean, you see it, one is not cooked, one is cooked.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's subtle, but they like to cook, you know, their vegetables sometimes separately. Is it bulgogi?
Bulgogi, yeah.
That has also separate vegetables, and you lay it all over rice.
Right. Yeah.
That's how you achieve this. Okay, I'm gonna call that a good. So we're gonna put all that. It's all cooked, and it'll continue to cook while it sits there.
Right.
There we go. We don't stand on ceremony around here. So all right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is the peppers. It's about a teaspoon of oil. I'm just gonna get some carrots in here. You know, you could put them all separate bowls, but why would you do that? So. The peppers are gonna take a little longer. You want to make sure the color is still intact. This is my favorite utensil in the entire universe, besides a cleaver.
Oh, amen.
Teaspoon. Now we're going to do the onion. The reason why I'm saving these two for last is we're going to saute them together.
The mushrooms and the meat?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're doing green onion and
red onion
together.
It's about three green onions. 3 green onions and then like 1/2 of a red onion. Probably should have put more onion in, but we're going to garnish with onion later. So. I think it's going faster because the pan is hot. I'm going to put all of these in here. And then I'm just going to put a little of this in here. And I'm going to probably garnish with the green onions and some chopped spinach. So I'm going to leave about that much. So I'm going to chop this and scatter it on top of the noodles. You'll get it in a minute. You can already see how beautiful this dish is going to be with the orange and the green and the red. And Gia doesn't add asparagus, but as I said before, I'm cleaning out my refrigerator. This is refrigerator roulette, so we're using what needs to go, and I think these will be a nice addition to the noodles. So just to recap, while you're sautéing these vegetables, you should put a pinch of salt, but not a lot, because we're going to be using, you know, pretty much pre-salted ingredients. But here we go. It's pretty good. Like I said, they'll continue to cook while they cool off. Like, the residual heat will continue to cook the things, but look how gorgeous. It just makes you want to eat it already, doesn't it? I'm gonna do the mushrooms first because this meat's already cooked. So what we're gonna do is put the mushrooms in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a tablespoon of this seasoning sauce each from both bowls. So you want to get these going until they reduce a bit in size. I'm not going to put salt on yet because I put a bunch of soy sauce in here. You can see they're already cooking down. You want them, you know, to cook off most of their water. So I was worried that was going to be too much vegetable. I was worried this was all going to be too much vegetable. It might turn out to be just enough. See how it cooks down so fast? Like all that water is coming out. The soy sauce helps. The garlic helps. That seasoning sauce is what I used to, and you'll see the seasoning sauce in a little bit when I saute the noodles. Doing real good here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the beef in just for a little bit. You can see it's got a nice medium, and I don't really want to mess with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to make two piles. One here and one here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide these ingredients between two portions. Hopefully I get enough mushrooms in each. Enough meat in each. Now comes the tricky part, and the part I'm not all that familiar with, but I'm going to just cut these sweet potato noodles in half like that so they're easier to eat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the heat in the same pan as you cooked everything else. And then you're going to put all this seasoning sauce in. So it's 200 milliliters of water, a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and a teaspoon of garlic minced. I'm going to make sure that all of that sugar goes in. You're going to get it to a kind of simmer. Because what you're fixing to do is you're fixing to reheat these noodles in the sauce, and then you're going to dump all this. So we got mushrooms and beef, red onions and green onions, asparagus, red and green bell peppers and other stuff, and poblanos, and then sauteed carrots. Here we go. Are y'all ready? I don't think I am. So here we go. And I'm going to serve it in this bowl. So what she did is she separated it and started to saute it until the sauce starts to evaporate slightly. And so this is what she did, kind of like this. These noodles, they're very interesting. They're very bouncy, very chewy, and I sort of cooked them to medium doneness. So what I'm trying to do now is soften them even further and reduce the sauce. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all this. It's quite a big bowl of food. I don't know if I'm gonna eat all of it, but I guarantee you I'll eat it for breakfast in the morning. Look how beautiful that is.
Gorgeous.
It's enough noodles. I wouldn't think it was going to be enough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see how transparent they are?
Yeah.
I love the texture. And turn this off for just a minute. It's pretty. I don't know if it's close, but I know it's pretty. A little bit of this. This is just chopped spinach. You could use cilantro or basil or whatever. These are green onions, just slivered. There we go. Toasted sesame seeds. And, a little bit. This is toasted sesame oil as a garnish. There. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing again in just a minute. Perfect. There's my bowl. Here's his. A little bit. That. Beautiful sliced scallions.
Yeah.
Sesame seed oil.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this segment because we really, really liked it. The concept of the refrigerator roulette. And so we've got 2 bowls of choose your texture. You like egg noodles, you like sweet potato noodles, japchae noodles. I put some Kashmiri chili on mine to make it spicier. Would you like some Kashmiri chili?
You know, yes, please.
Okay.
Why not?
So once again, thank you for watching this. Thank you for the lemon nemesis attention. We really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.